everyone, welcome back to the channel. We're at the third and final episode of modifications to get your 5.7 Hemi into the 11s. So this is episode 3, and we're going to talk about supporting modifications. Alright folks, you saw it on the thumbnail, heard it on the intro. We're in the third and final episode of the modifications I did to my Challenger 5.7 Hemi to get it into the 11s. Now these are talking about all of the supporting modifications that I've done. I haven't done a lot of these supporting modifications, but there are a number of things that you can do to help get your newfound power, getting that power to the ground. There's a few key ones, and then some you don't have to do, but they would also help. So I'm going to start with suspension at this point. So far, what I've done to my suspension, I've got the BMR upper trailing arm and the lower control arms, and all that does is help with wheel hop, and again putting that power to the ground. Now there's other manufacturers out there that do these things, so you don't necessarily have to go with BMR, but they're one of the top rated, top of the line companies when it comes to suspension parts. Yeah, as you can see, it's a pretty bad day to do a vlog. It's sprinkling out already. As you can see, it's super overcast. But that's why I'm not doing the POV view, because you guys would be looking at a dirty windshield and full of rain. So that's a little bit off topic. We'll get back to the suspension. The other thing I've done with my suspension is I got the 1320 Scat Pack rear springs. I haven't done anything to the front end of the car. This is all on the rear of the car. So the upper trailing arm, lower control arm is on the rear. So 1320 Scat Pack springs. There are a number of springs out there that you can get through a multitude of different manufacturers. I got the Dodge 1320 springs. Ibach is out there, and there's a couple other companies as well. But and you can look at all kinds of different springs. Some springs will lower your car. Some springs won't lower your car, but yet give you some of that squat off the line, and that's primarily why I went with the 1320 springs. They're not quite the Demon springs, but they're pretty close. Like I said, there are manufacturers out there that do make springs that are really, really close, or as good as, or better than Demon springs. So those folks are out there. So again, I said this throughout my last 2 episodes. Do your research. Do with what you feel comfortable with. You don't necessarily have to follow my blueprint, piece by piece, manufacturer by manufacturer. You can always go a different route and make your car your own. So from a spring perspective, the 1320s really didn't lower my car any, but I think it did give a little bit of squat. Now you don't want too much squat coming off the line, but you do want a little bit to get your car lurching forward on the start line. So do your research, get the springs that you feel most comfortable with. I just felt comfortable with going, with the So far, I haven't done anything with my shocks. This is another one that that can really help you off the line, is getting a good set of shocks. And again, I'm talking primarily from a drag race perspective. So if your build is going in a different direction other than drag racing, you want to do a little extra research into what you may want to do and what you may want to use. But from a drag racing perspective, there are some pretty nice shocks out there. I've just started doing some research. Viking is one of the top of the line folks that I've seen when it comes to shocks, and also other supporting suspension modifications too. But so I'm starting to do that, starting to look into shocks and getting those done. So next thing, let's talk about transmission and the torque converter. So my torque converter is a Circle D torque converter. There's only a couple manufacturers that actually make torque converters for these 8-speed automatic transmissions. So you're gonna have to go, you're pretty limited in your manufacturers. I just happened to go with Circle D and got that through Gauge Performance. So just a quick plug on Gauge Performance. They got everything you need, everything and anything you need, to do some of these modifications. They got it on their website. They're a great company, fast shipping, awesome folks to work with. So hit up Gauge Performance, if you're looking for any of these modifications. So back to the transmission. So Circle D 3800 stall converter, and that's primarily to get off the line from a drag racing perspective. If you're still using your car as a daily driver and you're not going to do much drag racing, I would lower that stall some just to get a little bit better drivability. But I went with the 3800 stall just to get shake and bake to launch, launch off the line. Does a great job, well made, great company too, Circle D. They were great. I talked to them. They walked me through, some of the things you want to look for in a torque converter and things like that. So that's just who I went with, and that's the stall I went with, just to help me get off the line. And it helped significantly. I literally dropped my 60-foot time right around a 10th, if not a little more. So it's a really good investment, especially if you're looking at going into drag racing. Also, I haven't done this yet. I may very well do it in the future, but you can also build your transmission. There are a couple kits out there to build these transmissions, build up the clutches, build up the gearing. So when you do add the power, you're not going to blow your transmission. Now, keep in mind, the reason why I haven't done it is we have the same transmission as the Scat pack. So, I've got roughly right around the same power as a Scat pack at this point. So I don't feel like I need to build my transmission yet. But, it's got 75,000 hard driven miles on it right now. So I may do that in the near future. Just because I've really pushed this transmission pretty hard. But, there's, like I said, there's a couple different kits out there to do your transmission. If you don't feel comfortable with the power you're adding and your transmission, go ahead and build your transmission. Next thing, I'm just working my way back, is the drive shaft. Again, we have the same 2-piece drive shaft that's in the Scat pack. There's no difference between the two. So again, I'm at that power. I don't feel like I have to do anything with my drive shaft yet. it's one of those, at this point, it's one of those niceties to do a one-piece drive shaft, but you don't have to do it. You don't have to. And then working my way back, let's go to, you know, the half shafts or the axles. Same thing. We have the same axles, same half shafts that's in the Scat pack. So holding the power level that I'm at now, I feel totally comfortable with the half shafts and the axles that I got now. But there's always room to upgrade, right? If you don't feel comfortable, again, it's one of those. It's got to be for you. If you don't feel comfortable with the half shafts, go ahead and get you some from the drive shaft shop, or even go and buy, you know, Hellcat half shafts from Dodge. Feel free, you know, to go ahead and do that. It's not going to add any power. It's not going to, you know, give you any advantage, but it will give you some peace of mind that when you're at the track, you're not going to break one of your half shafts. So let me check my list here. I want to make sure I don't miss anything. One thing that will significantly help you as well on the street and on the drag strip is wheels and tires. Wheels and tires are a big help when it comes to getting off the line. So my street setup is I have Demon Replicas from Factory Reproductions. They're both front and rear. They're both 20-inch. In the front, I have 20 by 9.5s up front, and I've got 20 by 10.5s in the rear. When it comes to tires, and you can go, there's a multitude of manufacturers out there for replicas or different kinds of rims. You know, make your car yours. You don't have to follow mine word for word, piece for piece. Go out there, look at some new rims, but I do suggest getting at least 9.5s up front and 10.5s in the rear, because now we're going to talk about tires. My street setup, I have 275, I believe 40 20s up front, and I've got 315 35s, 20s in the rear, and that's where that big rim comes in, is getting those big tires in the rear. You know, you can do it with a 9.5-inch rim. You can put 315s, 305s, 315s, but you are going to lose part of the tire that's going to meet the ground. It will bow up a little bit on you. So that's why I suggest at least 10, 10.5. If not, you know, go 11 or 11.5. So, you know, get you a big tire, put it on the rear. You will notice a significant difference when you're putting your foot in your car. You'll still get some spin, but you won't get quite as much as it, not even close to what you do when you have with the 245s. Nothing against the tire manufacturers, but the 245s on these cars are absolutely no good at all. And you'll hear that from everybody that's ever done, you know, something I hate about my Dodge Charger or Challenger. The first thing they come up with is those 245 tires. So I think I've hit just about. Oh wait, my drag setup. Let's go with my drag strip setup. So I do change my tires out at the drag strip. It is a pain in the butt. But as you know, if you watch my videos, my car is not a trailer queen. I drive it, you know, every day. It's my daily driver, and she gets hammered pretty much every day. I know I've been a little light on this trip just because the roads are wet and it's raining. But so back to the drag setup. What I have in the front is 17-inch race stars with 17.5-inch Hoosiers, Skinnies on the front. So what that does, it does two things. One, it decreases your overall weight because those Skinnies are a whole lot lighter than you know, the stock rims and tires. Excuse me, or the rims and tires that I got on here now. Significant weight difference. And also, it comes down to rotational mass, which does have something to do with the size, the width of the tire, and how much of that tire is making contact with the ground. So to help in getting a better trap speed, you want less rotational mass. So you want less tire up front hitting the road to help you go faster. A lot more to that. That's just a basic overview of why people go with Skinnies when it comes to drag racing. On the rear, right now I have 18-inch Bravadas, and I have 28-inch by 10.5-inch Hoosier slicks on the rear for my drag setup. So again, a million manufacturers of tires that even from a drag setup that you can put on your car. You know, there's Mickey Thompson, there's Nittos, there's Hoosiers. You know, multitude of folks make tires. So my personal opinion, you know, there are little nuances between the manufacturers, little nuances, you know, between the grip between them all. But for the most part, if you're going with a drag radial, you can't go wrong. You know, from a drag strip perspective, I really don't suggest using drag radials on the street because if you get caught in the rain, you're really in trouble. You're really in trouble if you're caught in the rain. You know, dry, sunny day, drag radials on the street are fine, but just keep in mind, if you're gonna daily drive a drag radial, you're not gonna get near the mileage out of a drag radial than you do, you know, a regular all-season radial. You know, if you're daily driving your drag radials, you know, you may get a couple thousand miles out of them, and that's gonna be about it. So keep in mind, and that's why I have a drag setup and my street setup, because I don't want to be buying tires, you know, every 2 or 3 months because I'm running drag radials, pretty much just to be cool or be ready for someone to pull up beside me on the street. All right, now we're really getting into the rain. But I think I hit just about everything. Also, one quick thing I missed on the engine was the 160 degree thermostat. I do have a 160 degree thermostat. That's not going to add any power. It's not going to add any torque, but it will help keep your engine a little bit cooler than the stock thermostat or a 180 thermostat. I just went with the 160 just to try and keep the car as cool as possible. So that's going to do it for this one, folks. I hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you enjoyed the content. I really appreciate you stopping in, taking the time to watch my videos, you know, going through these ads and things like that. I really do appreciate it. I can't express my appreciation enough. Again, we're almost at that 1,300 subscriber count. So, hey, if you're stopping in for the first time, take a look at the rest of my content. If you like what's going on with the channel, hey, do me a couple things. 1, subscribe. 2, hit the like button on those videos you like. 3, throw a comment out there. I'll reply to your comment. I try and reply to each and every one. And then the last thing is hit that notification bell to get notifications when I upload new content. So again, that's going to do it for this one, folks. Until next time, adios.